always just that active and defending.
I think it's like
sorry, my thing had a mind of its own. People deluded. I'm back again, fresh off the watch along. Big up you lot tuned in. Smash the like button. 6-goal thriller, 6 points on the board. First home game of the season. Well, it definitely was a game that you shouldn't have missed. And, big up the fans, them. They were singing about Telemans, Gabriel Jesus, Saliba, Arsenal 4, Leicester 2. Now, I'm sure at points there was several moments where we could have been a lot better, should have been a lot better, have to be a lot better when you play other teams. But 6 points on the board, it's a good start and the optimism keeps going. Again, this ain't a game to focus on negatives or positives. Let's start with the things we could do better. Anyone that was watching my watch along, I think our back 5 unit defensively from Ben White to Zinchenko, Gabriel, Saliba and Ramsdale, there were several incidences we needed to have better communication, from Fofana's first chance in the opening stages of the game to the penalty incident. Forget the fact of Vardy diving, just communication. Ramsdale doesn't need to be out there. There was a couple of times the ball was being put in between our young centre-halves or in between either side of the fullbacks, and we weren't switched on, and it was a sign of things to come. And the 2 goals we conceded, there might be one guy who could have done better. Saliba scored an own goal. Maddison has scored. In Ramsdale's defense, he is the last line of defense in that. Zinchenko could have done better. The whole team could have done better defensively. It was nice to score almost instantly and instantly react after we conceded, So there are several things. Game management, general naiveties, craving that clean sheet as much as we're gassed about getting 4 goals as a team are things that we need to improve on, and end of the day, you're not going to be perfect in pre-season, are you? 6 points on the board. We focus on the positives. We build on the negatives in training, not just from this game, from Crystal Palace. Clearly, the 2 goals we conceded where there was periods where Leicester were asking problems, but largely we dominated the game. We should not have conceded 2 goals today. Against Crystal Palace, we shouldn't have been under pressure as much as we were after a blistering start. Mind you, this was also a blistering start. So if we marry the positives from both games and the negatives and we keep moving, we should be even better against Bournemouth and so on and so far. We need to make the most of this August thing. September, October, it's not getting any easier. This time last year, we never had 6 points. I would say for me, Gabriel Jesus, man of the match. I would say tied with Martinelli, but he's just got 2 goals. Should have had about 10. Unfortunately, didn't. I also think Zinchenko and Granit Xhaka were quality. They would be the players for me that were a step ahead of everyone. I do think Saka and Odegaard. Odegaard was calm, the passing, the pressing. You know what you're going to get with Odegaard, but I just feel he could have asserted himself in the game. I think Saka's set himself big expectations, and Saka's good enough to do that. It weren't his day. There will be his day. He could have done better, but last season, if certain man didn't turn it on, we weren't getting results. So there is somewhat of positive, and we were good in many aspects. We were meaty in other aspects. We've still got vitally the 3 points. Everything else we look at. First thing first, the 3 points. Then we look at things to improve. Nice to see, really and truly. We got 3 points. We didn't let a team who have started the season poorly off the back of a shambolic pre-season get any optimism here. Couldn't prevent a Maddison goal. Telemans took the day off, kind of him, really. Let's get that one done, Edu. We did what we needed to do, man. We did what we needed to do, especially because we will drop points this season, but United dropped points last week. You've got Chelsea versus Tottenham tomorrow. Again, we're all going to be in the mix for top 4. Some are going to do it, some are not. So we give ourselves a landing when inevitably our time to drop points happens, Big up Jesus, from that. What a finish that was. The first one gassed me. I'm happy that he obviously tapped in the second, but just, good play from, I believe, let me scroll up in my notes. I can't even remember, such is my emotion. There was good initial play from a couple of players involved for that first goal, if I'm completely honest with you. Martinelli, Partey and Granit Xhaka. But that was a lovely finish. Little Brazilian thing, yard of space, lengthed it. Before that, Xhaka was good today in that advanced 8. Not the quickest, but when he hit the post, at one point, him hitting the post was our best chance. And that was a sign of things to come. We did what we needed to do, man. And we did what we needed to do. Big up the fans, them as well. I feel in the first 10 minutes, there's probably too much gaps. We was probably allowing Leicester to get too many passes. I think we was being quite careless on the ball. I think we was winning a lot of the first balls, but not necessarily the seconds, or the seconds, but not the first. I think there needs to be better communication with the whole team defensively, specifically the back 5. Ramsdale had to make 2 big saves early on. I did think Ben White and Zinchenko were a bit too narrow to begin with, and when they started to be a bit wider, like you saw Zinchenko going out wide or drifting into midfield, they couldn't really contain us in that regard. So yeah, man, really, how Jesus didn't get a hat-trick or 10 goals, I don't know, but it is what it is. At half-time, I thought we're not out of jail yet. There was some booky moments, much less the penalty. In hindsight, that was probably a sign of things to come with the 2 goals we conceded. We need to do a lot better, but there's many positives to build upon it in an attacking sense. We need to build on the defensive, because sometimes you're not always going to get the rub of the green. The referee had a bit of a mare. Leicester probably should have put a couple more chances away, 100%. We should have as well, but I look at the Palace game, we got away with certain aspects. We got away with it against Leicester. Don't get twisted. More positives than negatives in both games. But sometimes you're not going to get that really and truly. I think there was too many gaps between the back 5. I think they needed to talk more. I think Leicester were trying to foul us and do all of that foolishness, and it weren't really working. At halftime, I thought Martinelli, Zinchenko, Jesus, Xhaka did well. Wanted to see more from our captain and Saka, as I know I will do. I wanted to put Ward under a bit more pressure, and actually Fufano on the right-hand side of the back 3, and obviously Amati. At halftime, we had 10 shots, 3 on target, so we're doing all right. They had 1 shot, 1 on target. We started the second half well, but unfortunately, like against Leeds last season, I'm sure at home, and obviously Everton away, we've presented a goal. Saliba has the own goal to his name. Make no mistake, he had a good game and a good reaction. I think Ben White's not done well enough. Gabriel and Saliba are not close enough. Ramsdale, he showed his positioning and stuff. There's a lot of things to work on, but it's a comedic on goal. But fortunately, beyond people just laughing on that, we have the last laugh because we got 3 points. Granted, Xhaka kind of made us calm down a little bit with obviously scoring. Jesus obviously was involved. Terrible mistake from Leicester. Unfortunately, terrible collectively. Ramsdale's the full guy for the Maddison goal, but Zinchenko could have done better, and several players. When I watch the game again, there's a sequence for Zinchenko and Ramsdale to have to react. They've had to go from one end to the other. You go from one end in football to the other. And it's about sequences. We defend from the front. Our first defender is Jesus. Our first attacker is Ramsdale. Ramsdale, that was a lovely pass for one of the Jesus chances. Man, Jesus, the hattie will come. Obviously, Martinelli allowed us to rest with a goal, and he deserved it. I honestly give man of the match to Jesus, but I feel it's tied. I feel it's between Martinelli and Jesus. I forget it. I feel Zinchenko and Xhaka, I forget it as well. So it's nice to be talking about that. Like I said, in terms of improvements, need to focus a lot more, but we're very good going forward. We need to learn game management and things like that. Especially at the time the alleged penalty incident happened in the first half. But fundamentally, shared out, scored 4 goals now, 6 goals across 2 games, 6 points. Unfortunately, not a clean sheet, but we move. It could be better. It could be worse, really. Great reaction from Saliba. A lot to work on, but it's better, having maximum points and having to work than drawing at Palace or somehow messing up points today. It is what it is. We work, we move forward in it. We win, lose, and draw together. Players that were quiet today will be the guys in another game. Players that were the best today will be the quiet ones. There'll be different heroes and stuff, and this is why you need a squad. Would love to see subs a bit more quicker than Arteta, but he willed them out really. So yeah, man, it's all blessed really. I'll take that victory. The sun's shining. Quality content, but as when I sit here on my streams and I say we can be our best friends or our worst enemies, to a degree, it's games like this. When we need to learn. We need to learn to want to keep clean sheets. We need to learn to crave that defensive clean sheet as much as we do those goals. As I keep saying, we're an improved defensive side. We're not necessarily a good defensive side, and we are young. You sign up for this, pardon my language, dumb shit with these players, but we're old enough to learn. You've been here enough, and we have to chase perfection. Perfection's an illusion, but we need to want to chase that, and I do think they are. I do think Arteta and the boys will sit there and say we could have done better, but it could have been better. It could have been worse, people. I'm not going to complain. As I said, Arsenal 4, Leicester 2. Please let me know your comments. Comment your opinions. Yeah, man, please hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Bless.
There's always just that active red flag, defending.
I think it's like